If you have any questions from your discussion, welcome. Any questions? Or even any other questions that you'd like to clarify? No question, then I can carry on. Yes.
Like one of our students is disabled, he can barely walk, but he would like to do the prostrations, he'd like to do the 100,000 prostrations, even though he finds it very, very difficult to use his legs. Perhaps you could give some advice we could pass on to him next time.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So prostration, there are many different ways of, how to say, many different types, can I say that? Yeah. Many different types of prostrations, in the physical prostration. Physical prostration, verbal prostration, mental prostration. Mentally, seeing the qualities of someone. So here, the object of refuge, the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So seeing the qualities of them, then acknowledging their qualities with much of rejoicement, and showing great respect, sense of happy for those qualities, and wish to actualize that within yourself, and expressing that in your heart is a mental prostration. And a verbal prostration, expressing the qualities of someone in here, object of our refuge. So expressing qualities of the Buddha, expressing qualities of the Dharma, Sangha, so expressing qualities of them. So that is a refuge. That's a prostration through speech. Then physically, with that heart, with that respectful, rejoicing heart, seeing the quality in the object of veneration, then physical gesture of showing respect is the prostration. So there, start with, if the person can manage with the full body prostrations, then you can do that one. So, but in order to do that, you need to have a good knee and good strength of your arm too, because you need to push up, push down, push up. So, but then if you have a knee problem or your limbs are a problem, then don't have to do that. You can do the kumcha, which is the shorter version of prostration. That prostration can be done on the basis of touching the 5 limbs on the ground. Head, the forehead, 2 palm, and 2 knee. But still tough for those who have knee problem. But much more easier than the long prostration. So if that also is not capable, then physically that also not capable, then you can do putting the palm in the prostration gesture like this. So basically 2 thumbs put inside your palm, which represent offering, which represent your offerings. Because when you pay respect to someone, you don't pay respect with empty hand. So it's a gesture of paying respect to, because you feel the presence of the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha right in front of you, so you're making prostration to them. Or you're making prostration to someone as a person, like gurus. So you put your 2 fingers inside, and if you can if you can visualize it's a wish granting jewel, then it's good. If not, then just by placing this itself, it has its own effect to fulfill the purpose. So, so with this, then you place four area. One is on the crown, one is at the forehead, one is at the throat, and one is at the heart. And this gesture also need to do if you are doing long prostration, and as well as the kumcha, the shorter version, physical prostration. It's the placing of the 4 points. So placing on the crown, help, I would say, create the karma, establish the karmic imprint, one's mental conditioning, to actualize the Buddha's qualities of crown. So among all the Buddha's qualities, the qualities, the crown is, only actualized when you accomplish entire the 3 countless eons merit. So it's like one of the hardest quality that need to be obtained in order to be enlightened. So it's not much a big deal with having a lamp on top of your head. In another way, it's a very big deal because none of us have that. None of us have that big lamp. I used to say that I have a lamp or something behind. So that is the storage of negativities. If this one come a little bit here, then maybe something unique, maybe something very good. But unfortunately, went behind. So that quite sure is a storage of the abundance of negativities. So, but this one here, what you can see in Buddha's, like Amitabha and even the Tara. And the Tara is not just the hair, the tie-up, but inside here for the crown. There's a lump in the center, so that's called crown. So the major and minor marks of the Buddha is one of the mark that needed to accumulate 3 countless eons of merit. So there are certain marks of the Buddha is already, even before attaining Buddhahood, already actualized. Like a smooth palm, a Chinese symbol Taljam Tang, like this is a small palm like that. This, but then the crown is not something. You have to accomplish the total eradication of defilement, accumulation to defilement of merit. Then it comes. Then you have that. So placing the palm on the crown at the right in the center, so it creates the karma for that. And not only that, also at the time of passing away from this life, it creates the formation of positive energy at the crown level in order to transfer one's consciousness upward, to make the effect to transfer from upward. Because right at the crown here, to anybody, there's a curly circle. How to say? If you shape totally, then you will see there's some circle there. And right in the center of that circle, is regarded as the where the central channel. Central channel, of course, it stay like this, not up here, but it touch the point somewhere here. So it's when you pull the hair in the center of the head, it's kind of like making hole, at the crooked point of the central channel, where the practitioner practice power, transferring consciousness, power practice. So, they pull the hair is to make the pathway of the wind, and there the mind travels, where the consciousness travels, then transfer to the Amitabha Pure Land or the Pure Land, like that. So there's a benefit, placing your hand right in the center here, while accumulating naturally, so much merit just by expressing so much respect to the triple gem, and placing here, create that kind of impact. Then placing on the forehead, it helps it create the karma of purifying negativities that which are accumulated through the body, and accumulate the causes to actualize Buddha's form body. Then placing at the speech, Buddha's body. So placing on the speech, purify all the negativities committed through speech and actualize karma to obtain Buddha's melodious sound. And placing at the heart, it purify the karma committed through your mind and actualize the karma to obtain Buddha's omniscient state of mind. So that's the meaning. So you can sit down or you are standing. If you cannot bow down, then you just do like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can do 3 times, 3 prostrations, 1 time 1 prostrations. So someone who physically difficult to manage the earlier 2 prostrations, you can do this one, and you can accumulate 100,000 prostrations with this. Then even that also not capable, like physically totally disabled, disabled or maybe either very old, cannot raise hand. Then just place here at the heart. Just do the gesture, place at the heart. So you can do 1 time, 2 time, like you can see our Guru Kyabjalala Sobrambuche hardly you see like that with many other lamas. When he make offerings, when he do prostrations, when he pray, he do like this. You can see a lot of time doing this. So each time, is a gesture of prostration. And each time you are inspired. You have so much inspiration going on, or seeing the qualities. You can't help just prostrating like that. So if you cannot manage to do, raise your hand all the way to the ground, then you at least can do here at the heart. Place here, like this, then you can do like this: 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that. Or you can do like this, like 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. There's in some of the prayers, you see, like Guru Puja or Thara Puja, Medicine Buddha Puja, there are certain prayers, you do the mudra of the lotus, then after that make prostration. You see, so we don't stand up, we sit down like this, do the gesture of the lotus mudra is very much symbolize the dakinis, the Daka dakinis who make offerings to who are the attendants to the Buddhas. The offering gesture. So the offering can be through or just a prostration, offering prostration or offering this 8 different offerings or whatever offerings, So the lotus mudra is already symbolized that you are making offerings. So now with the lotus mudra you can do 1 time like this, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. It's very nice. So you can also do like that. If physically really the rest of the physical body not capable, Then if you only have 1 hand, then then do like this. You see? So you can see from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, wherever he go, he do like this to everybody. He's prostrating to everybody, or when he see holy objects, do like that. So you see, when we see holy object, we just like kind of staring at each other like that, should do like this. And when you see people, you prostrate to everybody. Everybody, if you are capable, your heart is pure, capable. Every being is the object of your prostration. So respect. You see, so this is a very good gesture of respect like this. Yeah, so you can do like this. So or both hands not capable, then like the gesture of bowing like this. You can do the bowing. But all of this has to accompany by the attitude of seeing the quality and offering respect. So that's the key thing. So yeah. And physically not capable at all, not even like this, then just do the verbal prostration. You can, as I go for refuge, like 35 Buddhas, I go for refuge to this Buddha, I go for refuge to this Buddha. Oh no, I prostrate to this Buddha, I prostrate to this Buddha, or I prostrate to Buddha, I prostrate to Buddha, I prostrate to Dharma, I prostrate to Dharma, I prostrate to Sangha, I prostrate to charity, I prostrate to charity, like that, Or I prostrate to 10 direction Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, I prostrate to all the Dharmas, I prostrate to all the Sanghas, like that, So just verbally, with the heart, seeing the quality, venerating them, then you call through your speech, you prostrate through your speech. Even that, if physically not capable at all, you can count that to accumulate 100,000, you see. Then, and even in speech, you have problem, then, but still how beneficial this practice is, and you wish to accomplish in your very best level, and you only can afford to do prostration from your heart, then you can make a sessions like for 1 hour, just express express the qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and offer genuine, sincere rejoicement, sincere respect, sincere aspiration, from your heart. So if you can do 1 hour, 2 hours, it's an amazing practice, So you can accumulate in this way your preliminary prostration practices or retreats, like that. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the mind is the one that which count, Yeah. So yes, over there behind.
Thank you, Geshe. Lama Zopa Rinpoche talks a lot about the benefits of the 35 Buddha practice. I wondered if you could describe why and how it is so effective and beneficial.
Yeah. So because of the, of course there are numberless Buddhas and even 1,000 fortunate Buddhas, and the 35 Buddhas has their own individual aspirations and prayer by the individual Tathagatas. So because of that, reciting their name and purifying negativities, calling their name, become a very effective purification practice. So prostration is one of very powerful purification practice, and if that conjoined with the verbal prostration of 35 Buddha, then it becomes very, very powerful. Yeah.
Earlier this morning you talked about the power of the object, the power of the holy object. Could you please explain how that fits in with the emptiness of the object?
So power of the holy object, like an example, relics. Relics is one of the most powerful holy object, and relics exist, by the power of the prayer, by the power of the aspiration of that particular practitioner or that particular Buddha, in order to be the object to assist the sentient beings to purify their karma and accumulate merit. So their prayer consecrated, the consecration, that relics is very much sought or consecrated by the prayers expression of the master. So that's why very powerful. So similar to holy object like statues, just the physical statue, even before consecrated with the mantras and before even doing the consecration prayers, just the object alone, even from the artist's manufacturing house, just a statue, because the what you call the statues and the tangas, when you draw Buddhas, there's a measurement, it has to be exact, the portion and this and that, and those symbolism of the realization of that Buddha, symbolism or the qualities of that Buddha. So whenever the something represents that quality and if you depend on that, or if that is encountering in your action of body, speech, and mind, and we get the influence of those qualities, and that is the blessing. That's why the object is powerful. Object is very, very blessed. And those statues, if you feel the mantra, then again the mantra itself has a great, the meaning of those each word, that what it contained, itself is a very powerful energy. Then you host that into the statue, and from the crown to the toe, every part of the body is like the different mantra, different mantra symbolize, or different mantra represent, or a different mantra become or represent like a different organs in our body. There's a mantra for the crown, then that mantra has the word that which expressed by the Buddhas the energy of the crown that form into a letter. So that's a mantra, isn't it? The letter. So there's a mantra for the crown, then another mantra for the head, mantra for all the different part of the body, and up to even the throne and the lotus. So because those mantras are came into existence through the energy of different the qualities of the Buddha, in every single existing part of the body of the Buddha is quality. It's a result of merit, isn't it? Result of merit, result of purification. So it is all enlightened substance, blessed, divine. The divine substance, enlightened substance is a Buddha's body or Buddha's organ. So those blessed divine substance manifest into a mantra energy, that came into a wording, and that you print out in the paper and roll it and put inside, different part of the body. That itself, is one of the way to consecrate, to make the statue really become, like a Buddha's own body existed, placing heart, lung, his intestine, stomach, like that. Then on top of that, through some prayers, there's a prayers, do another round of consecration. After you filling all the statue, then you consecrate again. And the consecration is very much bestowing the actual, Buddha's body, speech, and mind, the energy or the realization of Buddha's body, speech, and mind, bestowing into that statue or that Thanga. When you do consecration of Thanga or the statue, the ritual, actually the prayer is the bestowing, into that statue of the Buddha's body, speech, and mind, energy of Buddha's body, speech, and mind. And this is possible not just reciting the prayer, but this is possible because of emptiness. Because of the emptiness, that's why I say by the power of dependent arising, and by the power of emptiness, there's no true existing of impure or unenlightened, copper Buddha statue, isn't it? There's no inherent copper Buddha which is not Buddha, or which is Buddha, whatever, you see. So, but then you can actualize Buddha in that copper image by the basis or by the power of the interdependent, by the power of the interdependent wisdom or the emptiness wisdom, then by the power of the samadhi, concentrated mind, and then by the power of the prayer or the mantra, then you really bring into newborn Buddha in that copper statue. It makes sense? So you need samadhi, you need wisdom of understanding emptiness. Otherwise, you're bluffing. You're not really sure, and you just just kind of just drawing something like that. But then, if you really understand the emptiness, then it's really possible. It's like bringing into a new life, like a baby, bringing a new baby into a life, and just say, oh, I want baby, baby won't come. You need the interdependent nature, the emptiness nature to make it happen. What is the emptiness nature? It's that nothing other, even though you give a very empty word called emptiness, nature, whatever, you can use it slightly the easier way, say the dependent base. So need to depend on father and mother, the two substance come together. And then also the previous lives consciousness, this three thing, this three thing has to depend each other, coming together, make the baby possible. So like that. So, and that is so possible because it's not true existent. Because the baby is not true existent, mother is not true existent, father is not true existent, and even the previous consciousness is not true existent, not inherent existent. That's why it's possible. You see, inherent, there's true meaning. You see, this consciousness we're going to take as a baby, we're going to enter into a new body, is inherently continue up to now. Meaning is from very beginning. The continuation happened up to now. That's why it's continuation of the reincarnation of the one person million years exists before, but it's not inherently existing. Another term is meaning is not exist without depending on any cause and condition. It has to be by product of cause and condition. You see, so that is emptiness. It's the thing that is bring into existence dependent on cause and condition. That nature is called emptiness nature. So emptiness nature can be understood in two different ways. One is the empty way. Another one is the the causal way, cause and effect. A way of understanding. So samadhi. Why the samadhi is one of the crucial factor to really make possible, that a statue really, actualize into Buddha, actually existing Buddha, entire Buddha's ability in that is like, how's that? I wanted to say something, but then suddenly went off. I don't know what I wanted to say. Okay. So anyway, samadhi is one of the very powerful factor. Samadhi will make possible to. It's like a hook. It's like a hook to hook the ring. Like the ring is like you can refer the energy or the qualities or the abilities of the Buddha's holy bodhisattva mind. It prevails everywhere. But then, to hook that and make it to inception in that statue is the samadhi is the one that which can able to make so, which can able to do that. You see. So then, the another one is the power of the prayer itself. The prayer. The prayers are again, the word. The prayers are the energy that which again blessed or was spoken by the Buddhas or the enlightened beings and written into a wording, and to do that, to make it happen, that consecration. So then you recite that prayer, and the person who consecrate, with the samadhi, with the emptiness wisdom. Then you recite the prayer, then you consecrate that statue or that Tangpa, you see. So all these things possible because of the nature of the statue, the nature of the Tangpas lies in the nature of emptiness. If the nature of Tangpa and statue do not lie in the nature of emptiness, then this won't be possible. It has to be inherent ordinary. There's not possible to replace, the inherent ordinary into a divine perfectionate. It's not possible, you see. So that's why even us, we can be, if our samadhi is possible, if our emptiness mind is, emptiness wisdom is firm, then we have the aspiration, then we can consecrate ourselves to become Buddha right here. It's possible like that. But then, yeah. Did I answer your question so far? Okay. Okay. So maybe before I try to finish at least the refuge part this time. So I'll read through the notes. So I was once cautioned about an incident where a layperson, because this morning I was talking about, offering respect, offering service to a Sangha, isn't it? So I was once cautioned about an incident where a layperson, in the presence of many other lay people, asked me to fetch a drink for that person. Well, knowing that I hold the full ordination vows, from my side, I accepted the request to serve the drink because I was the one who asked whether I could serve. I was asked whether I could serve a drink. Of course, the manner of request was like an order, but in my mind, I was very happy to oblige. So I went. So I went to get the drink. So when I went out to make the drink, a strong debate arose among the people there. One person said, "How dare you do this? Geshe is an object of respect, monk. You cannot do this to him." And the person who asked for the drink said, "Why not? We are still human beings. We are the same. Later on, I was questioned by this same person, it is okay to ask you to make me a drink or not? I replied, yes, sure, of course, you can. Sure, you can ask me to do that because I treat you like a friend and a human being. So you can order me, ask me to do this and that for sure. But it would be wrong for you to ask other Sangha like that. So there's some meaning there, isn't it? Even though it's blah blah blah. So that's my answer. You see, from the Sangha side, you need to be grounded. You need to treat every single, whether it's lay person, whether it's non-practitioner, anybody, including cockroach, we have to treat, so high, so important, above your crown. That's the attitude the Sangha should have. But then from those who don't have vow, then the way to treat the Sangha is not the way how this person treated me. That's why I say you shouldn't treat like this to others. It's a wrong way to treat this to other Sanghas. And if you ask the Sangha, how I should treat you, I should be only venerating you, I cannot ask you to do any help, then the Sangha should reply, no, you can ask help from me, why not? But the attitude of those people who don't preserve the vow, always, again, is one of the another way of practice is that, you respect everybody. But then more than that, someone who holds a vow is really, really precious. And you put yourself in the position of servicing, not receive the service from the Sangha. And because if you offer the service to the Sangha, because of the vow, you get so much benefit. And if you don't, then not only miss the opportunity to accumulate merit, but there's even a danger of abandoning the vow through your action, abandoning the vow, abandoning not something you have to throw away, but it's like not acknowledging the respect of the vow. It's kind of abandoning the vow. Yeah, so like that. So that's why the Sangha cannot be bossy. Sangha have to be very, the more the vow you have, I think the more the humble you have to become. The more the grounded you have to become. More the respect you have to offer to the rest of the other sentient beings. The more the practice you have to do that. But then from the lay practitioner side, then when you want to compare on the basis of vow, the Sangha always is supreme. And even among the lay practitioners, the higher the vow, naturally, you have a higher, the karmic privilege, and whoever get chance to serve you, whoever get chance to offer respect to you because of you holding such a great vow, the person accumulate immense of benefit of purification and accumulation of merit, immense of benefit, you see. So, but then if you boost with your ego, then there's someone, because you're having vows, someone will accumulate a lot of virtues, but then you also ruin your own vows. You ruin the merit from your side. See? So it's a very tricky, but then in one way it's very clear. Everybody needed to stay grounded. Have to have the pure view of every single sentient being is more precious than you, higher than you, more qualified than you, everything greater than you, all qualities, when you compare. And the importance, the others, or any others are more important than myself. So this is even, even the Mayanic way of thinking, so like that. So here we cannot misunderstand. We have to be flexible as we all practitioner of bodhicitta. Whether the other person deserves respect or not, for you, you should respect every single living being, not only the Buddha. If the Buddha manifests in front of you, it is most likely that Buddha would offer you more respect than you would offer respect to the Buddha. So when you approach some of the gurus, like one best example again, one Sopa Rinpoche, you as a student, you go to see him, and show some respect, Even the physical gesture, he will be more humble. He will be much more bowing than you as a student who went to pay respect to him. So these are the practice. He's in practice, not because he's scared of you. He is totally, humble. Seeing so much preciousness in you. Even though you are just a student, Dharma student, someone who is regarding you as a Buddha, but from his side, you are like a Buddha. You are the most precious one. So that's why, if you say, Rinpoche, thank you very much for being my guru, Rinpoche say, thank you so much. Thank you. You're so precious. Thank you. So these are the teaching. These are the teaching. So even the way how the perfect gurus, how they behave is a teaching. So not necessarily you need to say in a word. Their way of living itself is a great teaching. So that's why even when we go to rely on some guru, rely on a guru or search a guru, you really need to search, someone in every angle is inspirational. We have given a choice from the beginning, not to choose the wrong guru, not to choose the wrong person as your guru. If you choose a very arrogant person as your guru, then you will get a hard time. You choose a guru who has overwhelmed with the desire, because they didn't really check properly, according to what the Langri teach us, then you will get a hard time and you ask for it. Almost like you ask for it. So, but if you really want to, find a perfect guru, then, the Buddha's teaching already make very clear, like Langri, make it very, very clear, the attitude, how you go to search for your guru. And then once you establish guru-disciple relationship, then, every single act you have to manage to see through pure view. Otherwise it can be a great obstacle to your mind. But as an ordinary practitioner, as an ordinary person like me and some of you, from very beginning we have to be very careful when we commit to any guru as a guru-disciple relationship. This guru is inspirational figure for your spiritual practice. And if guru misbehave physically, more ordinary than you, how to inspire you? Isn't it? It's tough, isn't it? Unless you have a high, great practice already. If you already have a great practice, then maybe no need guru also. No need physical guru, But you need physical guru to inspire you. In that case, then the guru, someone who really has a certain discipline. So that's why, even though there's 10 qualities of the Mahayana guru, or even the Vinaya guru, or Tantric guru, you need to have minimum 10 qualities. But then if you sum up that quality, then you need to search someone who has moral discipline, moral conduct, minimum. Minimum 3 quality, I think, must establish, must convince you, then you regard that person as your guru. First thing is moral conduct, moral discipline. If it's monk or nun, then someone who is totally, someone is who really preserve and treasure their monastic vows, minimum. If it's a lay practitioner to whom that you rely on a guru, then if it's a married man or married woman, then at least not indulging in sexual misconduct. at least basic, very, very minimum basic vow, moral ethic of no sexual misconduct, and the guru guru teach about Dharma, then every week change wife, then how to be guru? Every week change girlfriend, every month or every year, it's quite contradictory. For me, it's very contradictory in the base of the Dharma. You at least need a moral conduct, to be a spiritual guru, And you can be a teacher, a very naughty teacher, it's up to you. But when we talk about the Dharma teacher, Dharma guru, then and it has a great responsibility from the student side. Student side. If you're really longing liberation, then you really need a guide. Without guru, it's not possible. So therefore you need to rely on guru. But then in order to really perfect your path by the leading by this guru, then the guru has to be inspirational. And of course someone need to have a quality of knowledge, greater knowledge. That's what you are striving for. Then someone who is overwhelmed with compassion. Someone take a student, students' spiritual well-being is more important than your own well-being. The guru has to have that kind of menace. You see. So that's why if you find a guru with this quality, then you only have a benefit. Totally surrendering yourself, your body, speech, and mind is totally, really, Then, like, what do you call, whatever effort that you put to devote, in devotion and in action, only benefits, only merits, only inspiration. You see. But without these three bases as qualities of the spiritual teacher, then you have a hard time. Yeah. Then you have a hard time and you ask for it. So what can you do? So you cannot blame only the teacher. The teacher being very naughty and you blame the entire world. This is your responsibility too. You didn't look into teaching properly. Then you just that's why I say when you're searching for a guru or meeting a spiritual teacher, they say don't be like a dog meeting a fresh meat without examining whether inside got poison or not. You just eat, swallow like that, and it happens because guru is the foundation of all your spiritual qualities. Guru is the foundation of all your spiritual gain. So therefore, say even it takes 12, 13, or even it takes entire your life, it's worth to find a perfect guru. Even it takes to examine until get there, Then the gurus and your relationship, the spiritual relationship, it can be just maybe what do you call? It's just maybe one word. It's not something that every single knowledge you need to obtain from him. You can learn knowledge from all the different sources, but you need the spiritual channel. The guru is actually is someone who grants you the spiritual channel, who ties the spiritual knot all the way up to enlightenment. So guru's responsibility is like the guru's. So otherwise, the knowledge you can learn from a normal teacher. So that's why say when you go to when you have some kind of inspiration to regard that particular person, that particular Dharma teacher as guru, then first you go and receive his teachings. Regard him as a respected teacher, but not a guru. So regard him as a spiritual teacher, then just learn, examine. Examine for the purpose of, the ultimate goal is I really want to establish the spiritual connection with him. So therefore, I just, for the purpose of being careful, that's why I examine, not like always searching for the fault. not searching for the fault. So eventually you really convince in your heart that I can, even if this guru react as a strict mad dog, that I can still able to see him as a Buddha. Then you make the decision, okay, he or she is my guru, like that. And from there, then even asked to jump from 13th-story floor, then maybe you can be ready to jump. But if the real guru won't ask you to do that. Another thing is the real guru won't ask you to do that, but then even it asks means you are capable to do so. So it's quite a complexity. Where it is coming from? Okay. That's why in the Tantric teaching you are required to see every single living being as a Buddha, or every being as a male, every being as a or male being as a Dharka, or female being as a Dakinis. So it's talking about pure view. But even in the sutra, then you view everybody as a Buddha, or everybody at least has a Buddha nature. At least as a Buddha nature. If someone misbehave, then you just say, it's okay. Don't be distracted with the wrong, the misbehavior. But he still has a Buddha nature. He still has potential. So therefore, you see that quality and offer respect. Ordinary Sangha, yes. Sangha need not necessarily be ordained monk or nun, as long as you possess direct perception or emptiness. When you reach the path of seeing, you become the Arya being, you become a Sangha refuge. On the object of the five paths from the Mahayana viewpoint, if the practitioner practice the Hinayana path first and attain the path of seeing in Hinayana tradition, they are said then enter into the Mahayana path at the first level of path of accumulation as a Sangha refuge, because he or she already gained the direct perception of emptiness, because he or she was Arya being in the Hinayana level before, and is now he or she just continuing his or her practice in the Mahayana path. So those there are varieties of practitioners. Some first choose the Hinayanic path, then actualize arahantship, then enter into the very first path of the Mahayanic path of accumulation. So even though this person is not a Mahayanic Arya being, but he or she already object of refuge, because it's the Sangha, because he or she already actualized direct realization of emptiness when he or she was in Hinayana path of seeing. For those practitioners who practice the Mahayana path, then they attain the first part of accumulation, followed by the second part of preparation. They are still not eligible to be the Sangha refuge, because they have not obtained the direct perception of emptiness. When they enter into the path of seeing direct realization of emptiness, from there they become Sangha refuge. Ordinary Sangha, ordinary monk or nun are the representative of the Sangha refuge. Therefore, by showing respect to Sangha, it has the great benefit of connecting your karma to become Sangha refuge in the future, or to obtain realization of emptiness directly. You see, paying homage to the Sangha, paying respect to the ordinary human Sangha, just having the vow, not realizing emptiness, but just by venerating them, already create a cause for oneself to realize emptiness faster. So when you reflect on the practice of refuge, Sanje Chodong Soji Tsok, the moment you hear Tsok, you should admire the Sangha community and those who have ordained, those who have obtained direct realization of emptiness. Then meditate and make prayer. May I able to achieve the realization on perceiving emptiness directly too. Because without perceiving the emptiness directly, you cannot see the defilement. In order to see the cause of that is to take refuge under Sangha. Follow the advice such as not following the negative friends, those who distract oneself from the virtue. By taking refuge 3 times in the morning and 3 times at the night, the moment you do this prayer, make sure that you reminded yourself, I will make sure that I will not be influenced by negative friends. You see, by taking refuge in Dharma, then always have a clear wisdom, clear mindfulness that whatever action or virtue you engage, make sure it become cause of liberation, not just cause of happiness or samsara. So it differentiates dharma and non-dharma, very clearly. So when you take the precept of refuge in the sangha, then you're very clear that the companion, the environment that you have, or you want to engage, should be the virtuous environment, not a negative environment. So negative friends. So so a negative friend is whoever distracts you from virtues, who asks you to avoid a refuge, to get into evil actions, to harm others, to indulge in intoxication, gross enjoyment of the five senses, who foster greater desire and greater grasping in you. Somebody who encourages you and influences you with respect to all this is a negative friend. By reciting Sangye Che Tang So, if possible, you pause here for a moment when mentioning So, admire the Sangha refuge, and remind yourself to make sure not to fall into the negative friend's advice. So this is very effective protection for you. Just by reflecting on this, already protecting you. If you meditate on this, it helps. It helps. If you don't meditate, it doesn't. It really sounds like me. So as well as reflecting on Dharma Sangye Che, remember you are also taking refuge under Dharma, not to kill and not to harm any living being. I will consciously ensure that I will not harm others even unintentionally. I will put full mindfulness in even my footstep so as not to step on the ants. I will make sure my hand movement do not knock or harm anyone. So that you have to be careful at the shopping center. So by taking refuge under Dharma, you are already assured of being a good person. At least on that very day, you do not. That day you do the above reflection. Naturally, you accumulate so much merit, and naturally, it makes you a better person. If you can do this every day, you will reach perfection. As for taking refuge, in Buddha again reflect, I should not take refuge in spirit worldly gods who themselves are not enlightened and not liberated from samsara. My main purpose is to gain liberation from samsara. So if the person whom I take refuge is not liberated from samsara, how is he going to liberate me? He himself is lost. So how he is going to guide me into the right path? Thus I must resolve that I will not be influenced by negative guides and instead follow Dharma friend, virtuous friend, not that one refer to one's guru as a virtuous friend. What are you talking about? Why are the spirit and worldly gods regarded as a non-virtuous friend? Because reliance on them will bring suffering. Think about it. How can praying to worldly gods such a landlord, protector, nagas bring suffering? Here the suffering I'm referring to is samsara, silent existing. Re-experiencing hardship again and again. Re-experiencing hardship again and again. So when you take refuge in, under like nagas, spirit, etc., you are asking help for the samsaric worldly gains. So that means it's still asking samsara. So that's why that's why what you achieve when you are praying for is a suffering. By making incense and light offering towards spirit to please the spirit, or worse, taking soul refuge under them will bring some benefit, but the benefit is temporary. Temporary benefit take on the appearance of short life gain, but in fact it will carry with it the suffering of change and not the lasting ultimate happiness that we seek. Okay, almost finishing. What are the suffering? Okay, no need. Everybody know very well. Okay. Okay, so anyway, what are the suffering of change? Change leading to the failure. When we take refuge under worldly God, the minute we stop praying, the gods being samsaric being also have the affliction of anger, ignorance, etc., will cause harm the next day or 1 year later or 10 years later, but for sure you will receive some form of harm from them. So you have to be continuously appease them. In some case, your grandparent and grandparent and your parent have prayed to this spirit so for their whole life. So you think of this as a commitment to pass this on to your children as well. So this happens most of the time in the Asian country, not in the West, most in the Asian country. So, but in the West maybe something else. I don't know. So you think of this commitment to pass this on to your children as well and on to your grandchildren. Why it is almost as if you have no choice. You have to do this because you fear that not doing it will bring harm into the family. So that's how many of some Asian families they pray to their ancestor. They take refuge in their ancestor. They take refuge in some spirits and worldly gods, and their children, generation, they cannot let go because they fear. Otherwise it will harm them, their family. Sometimes this does happen. Therefore, it is important not to take refuge under a spirit or worldly god. Now to be secure in your refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Just recite the first line, Sangye Chodo Soji Sonamba. Sangye is Buddha, Choy Dharma, Choy Sangha. Second line, Changchu Bardu, Dane Kyapsu Che. Changchu refer to enlightenment, the state of perfection, the state attained by the Shakyamuni Buddha, the Buddhi. Bodhitriko Changchu Shin, the Changchu is referring to the Buddhi, Bodhicitta, or it's still enlightenment. Bhartu means until, until. Davani means I. Kyapsu Che means go for refuge. So Changchu Bhartu Dani Kyapsu Che means that after knowing the qualities of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge in the Triple Gem until I obtain Changchu, the Buddhahood, enlightenment. Yeah, so this is the refuge complete. Thank you. Okay. So to just do the short mandala, then dedication prayer, and we stop here.
In your prayer book are all under prayers after teachings. If you short mandala. It's in the yellow book. If not everyone has it, please share. Maybe look behind you, some people are missing.
Ye